Welcome back. I am going to quickly go over the different types of posts and show you how each of those would look. Okay, so I'm going to quickly exit out of my little menus. So the best way to make sure that your students can find what you're posting is under the classwork tab. And there's this big button that says plus and it says create. So that's where we're going to start. So the very first thing we're going to go over is an assignment. So I'm going to go create assignment. And we're going to call this assignment number 2. And I'm going to say see attachment for directions. And we're going to give it a point value of 50 points. We're going to give it a due date. I always like to say by midnight. And we're going to create another topic. We're going to call this week 2. All right. So I said see attachment for directions. So if you go ahead and click the paperclip, it's going to want you to either drag a file or select a file. You can also go to your recent files from Google Drive. Okay. You can go to your Google Drive and go through your folders and find that. You can click on shared drives. I have 2 of them. And then if you start anything, it should pop up and you can attach that. So we're going to go to recent. We're just going to choose something that I want the students to have directions for. So let's just say my ThinkPad topics. We're going to go ahead and add that. And this is the only time. So if you push assign and then you're like, oh, dang, I needed each student to have a copy of that so they could edit it, you can't. You have to start over. So this is the time before you push assign for the first time where you can change what can happen with this Google Doc or a Google slide or a Google Excel spreadsheet or any kind of document, okay? So you'd click it. Either you can have the students view the file. That's just a resource for them. That's what I'm going to choose. But you can also have students be able to edit. So they get editing rights. And so maybe you have one document and you want your class to collaborate. That's what you would choose. And then make a copy for each student. Maybe it's an assignment sheet and they're going to answer questions on that assignment sheet and you want each individual student to actually turn that in. That's a make a copy for each student. Okay? So I'm going to go ahead and push students can view the file. This would be the time also where you can schedule it. You can save as a draft. You can assign it. I'm going to go ahead and schedule it. And I'm going to choose it to today. And it's going to say, it must be in the future. You're going to say, yeah, I know. I'm not that big of a dummy. And we're going to say, since it's 3:08 right now, we're going to say 3:10 p.m. No longer an issue. Push schedule. So it's the first time that I've done week 2. But I don't want it to go to the top, right? So we're going to go ahead and drag this and reorganize while we're at it. Okay. I'm also going to go ahead and click create, and we're going to go to the next item of business today, and that's a quiz assignment. So a quiz assignment is going to create a blank Google form for you. And let's just say quiz week 1 syllabus. It's a quiz on your syllabus. And say make sure to press turn in when you have completed the quiz. It's a 100-point quiz, and it's going to be due 1 week from today's assigned date because that's what my classroom does. And we're going to say that it has to be done before 4 p.m. and the sun's not going to be around. And the topic, week 2. All right? But I'm not just going to assign right now. I'm going to go ahead and push on blank quiz. And I'm going to rename this, right? 2019 syllabus quiz. Click up here, make sure it's named correctly. There we go. And then your first question, Make sure your first question is required. In my settings, after the first question, it'll make everything required, but this is a multiple choice question. You can import questions, that's new. So I'm guessing that if you import questions, maybe it's from a past, look at that, a past Google form. That sounds perfect to me. But you can also add a title or description, an image, a video, another section, and a different type of question. So if you go quick to select question, you can change the type. I always do paragraph if I'm going to have them type anything, because when you do short answer, you can't see your whole answer. Okay? Unless it's just one word that you want from them. And just remember that if you want to preview what that looks like to them, you can go ahead and push the eyeball. And then this is what that quiz looks like. Super fancy. So that is a quiz assignment. And then I would go ahead and push assign. And now under week 2, it's going to be here, and I can go ahead and I can actually look at everyone who's taken it, not taken it. When I go to the quiz, make sure I'm editing it, editing mode, and I go to responses, and that's where everything will show up, and I'll actually look at the student individual responses, but there is also an area, and I do this first, where I grade just question by question. So I'm not biased. I don't know what student it is, etc. So that is a quiz assignment. But there is another way you can do it. You can also just do a general assignment. Say you've already created the Google form. We're going to say quiz number 2, syllabus. But instead, we're going to go Google Drive, and we're going to attach it. So we're going to select that form, go ahead and press add, and it's like, oh, it's a Google form. That means it's going to be a quiz assignment. And then it only allows for 1 response per student and requires our email address, etc. Okay, it's going to import those grades. So we're going to do that same thing, and we're going to go ahead and push assign. So that's 2 ways you can do a quiz. Whoops. And if you forget to put a topic, you can always go to the little 3-dot menu and press edit and go ahead and add your topic, and then push save, and it'll reorganize that for you. Love it. I'm going to close down that assignment. The next type of post is a question. What is your favorite color? And it's going to be just a quick 10-point question. It's going to be due on Friday by midnight, week 2. I want students to be able to reply to each other, and if students want to edit their answer for this, it's fine. All right? And I want them to do a short answer. But know that there's another type. You can also have them do multiple choice. Okay? Go ahead and ask. Go ahead. Look at that. Oh, and as you can see, our assignment number 2 posted. Remember, I scheduled that earlier in the video. Material is the one I use most often. So if I have directions for an assignment that they're doing a hard copy of, but I want the directions to be somewhere that's easy to find, that's where I do this. So let's just say 1-pager directions. And I say 1 image, 1 title, 3 vocab, 3 questions with answers. And then obviously there's more to that, but that would be that. Make sure I go ahead and press a topic. As you can see, there's no due date because it's not an assignment. You can also include a link to anything. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to post that. And they're going to post from the bottom, which is what you posted first, to the top. And last is you can reuse a post. So you can choose, let's just say, let's go to agricultural biology. And we want to copy the test review. And we want to create new copies of all attachments. Quick test review, reuse. And now we can go ahead and we can edit that. Okay, and I can also change the topic by just pushing the X and going